Hey everybody, my name is Rydo, and today we are going to be starting either one episode or a very short series in which we play Kerbal Space Program in Sandbox mode. We have tried, I have in previous episodes, so go back and check them if you haven't watched it, done the training and the scenarios. It was rough, and then the career was pretty rough. Career mode was pretty rough too. But then I just recently finished the science mode, and that was actually fun. So now we're going to do the same mission that we did for career mode and science mode. Get to the moon, maybe even get back. If we can land on the moon, this series ends. If we do it in this first episode, then this series ends. We're going to be playing in sandbox mode. And so basically that means everything's unlocked. It's just that simple. Uh, in the career mode, we had a funds bar, a reputation bar, and a science bar up here. All three are economies that limit us. And then on top of that, we were also limited by unupgraded versions of buildings that, like this launch pad, couldn't hold over a certain weight in career mode, or the research and development center here couldn't research past a certain point in career mode until it was upgraded. Also, the space tracking station here was needed to be upgraded to do basic things like add maneuvers, and the astronaut complex here needed to be upgraded so that the astronauts could do surface samples and collect science. Uh, anyways, none of that has to do with sandbox mode though, because all we have here is we can hire a bunch of astronauts, and as soon as we get out of this menu, they will become 5-star full XP, like our first four: Jebediah, Bill, Bob, and Valentina. And new thing on science mode is that we somehow managed to kill Jebediah and Valentina, and they never came back. I thought they were supposed to come back. The first four were. They were supposed to be the immortal ones, and then if you killed anybody else, then they would be lost, killed in action. Uh, Also, there was a strategy you could do in the administration building where you try to sacrifice reputation to get more funds. All of that not necessary in science uh, or sandbox mode. Then here you have your mission control where you take on contracts to get more funds. Again, just closed. And even the research and development is closed in sandbox mode. So we don't, because it's closed, we can't see the science that we would normally get. You can't get in it. So even getting science in this mode is kind of silly. Sandbox mode is the best mode to start off in though. We can now build a monster. There are, you start off with just this piece, and that is it. That is the only thing on this entire tab as far as parts to build your rocket ships. On this, you start off with just, let's see, where is it? On this panel, actually, you start off with nothing. On this panel, you start off with the flea rocket, the smallest rocket you could have, and nothing else. Let's see, on this panel, I don't think you start off with anything, and let's see, on this panel, you probably don't start off with anything. You probably don't start anything off on that. I don't believe you start off with anything here either. So you're very, very limited in career mode and science mode. And you have to unlock things using science, which you would collect with these items. The Science Junior, the Mystery Goo, contain equipment unit. I think you start off with the mystery goo. So what we're going to be doing is the Mark 1-2 command pod. Let's see, we're looking for a big crew capacity thing. A crew capacity of 4, right there. That looks good. And then we can get our 4 guys in there. This one has a crew capacity of only 2, but a smoothed out nose. Interesting. So I've never used this part. This will be interesting. In fact, we're pretty much going to be using a bunch of parts that we haven't ever used. This thing has a major thrust, where the flea that you start off with only does 192, which is quite a lot actually, because it's a solid fuel rocket. This thing gives you a thrust of 4,000. Here's a Sepratron that's used to get parts further away. Here's your most powerful rocket here at a thrust of 675. So 675 for the kickback solid rocket, which is huge, versus the mammoth liquid fuel engine that can do 4,000. Let's see. That here's the Rydo. It's half as good. Some of these are airplane engines. This one can do half about the Rydo, but it's smaller. I think it's for airplanes. So we need a fuel tank if we're going to be using this. So let's find the biggest fuel tank we can find. Let's see. Those? Is that the biggest fuel tank we should be using? Or should it be the let's see. Let's get a little closer to the screen and see what's going on here. It says signature heavy fuel tank designed to be used with advanced rocket engines. Well, I bet this is an advanced rocket engine. Is an adapter. See, this ship is very strange, and yeah, that looks like what we want. And then the Rocco Man Jumbo fuel tank is actually smaller. Interesting. I've never even made it to this level. I've never even made it to this level of... Is that gonna be enough? This is an interesting point, what we're doing. Yeah, we want 2 of those, so we might as well just take this off and stick this here. Get rid of that engine, and we'll just get another one. Another copy. It's like 4 engines in one. We need to get our science going though, so how can we need like a service bay. Let's see. Takes materials containing even a trace of oxygen and hydrogen and cranks it into useful fuel prog. When operated by a skilled engineer, you'll be able to operate with a better efficiency. Interesting. Well, we might as well try that. I'm not claiming to be skilled, but that doesn't match. I don't like the way it looks. Interesting. Mining excavation. designed to help extract resources. Really? We can mine now? That's new. Solar arrays. Yeah, we'll do some solar arrays. Launch systems, wheels, some landing struts here. We'll put some heavy landing struts as low as we can, even though they technically aren't connected. Landing gears, large landing gears. Ooh. Would be nice if we could just land it on a planet and roll around instead of trying that. We don't want to make our ship too heavy, so adding all kinds of fancy things. Here's a cargo bay. Let's see, that is the Mark III cargo bay. Mark III cargo bay CRG-60. So we can put like a whole nother spaceship inside that cargo bay. And then passenger model. I suppose to put more people. Let's see, crew capacity 16. 16 astronauts, really? Just make a whole flight of it. Parachutes. That's a tiny parachute. Let's put a regular parachute on top. I don't think those parachutes are gonna be strong enough. Maybe I'm being paranoid, but I don't think they're gonna be strong enough. So hitchhiker storage container for the Valeric service bay. Let's see, rechargeable battery. Let's see, put this cargo bay in line. So we got a whole thing now. I don't think we will be needing those two. I think we can just take our 4 guys up. Here's you could put a rover in this very easily. Why are these cargo bays not easier to unlock, even in science mode? This should be like automatically unlocked. Here's how you get a rover to the moon, and then we'd have a rover. There's all kinds of science stuff. Let's put this here. Let's see. I'm gonna put that there. Science Junior. Little X-ray thing going on here. To put a satellite together, I suppose. Just a tiny little thing. What? Like a lander? There we go. Come on. This doesn't want to cooperate. Does not want to cooperate. Let's turn that off. See if we can convince it. Nope. Why does the Science Junior not want to cooperate? let's detach. Let's see this part. And this part. And zoom out. This part. This part. Let's see. Attach this part. Attach. Finally something wants to attach. So if I attach this to this, and then this to this, yes, finally, let's move back. So we have our Science Junior. We will put our mystery goo on it. We will put our thermometer and our pressure meter, and this is pretty much as I ever got. So the comms, we can have that, and we'll put a comm module, why not? And then the seismic measure is not one I even unlocked in this run. I have unlocked it in previous runs. Actually, I want this comms unit. It's a little bit better. Survey scanner. Ooh, that thing's big. Let's put this. That is big. I think I'm gonna have to put that on out there. Let's see. Stick that on the bottom. Pressure, surface scanning module. Yep. And the mobile processing unit, which, sure, we'll take that with us. So that is everything for the science. Now the question is, can I get this unit to all stay there? Yes, I can. Unfortunately, it's going to require this guy, 2, and this guy. There we go. Close. So locked in this giant spaceship, we have everything we could ever want. Question is, will this giant spaceship actually land? Just gonna bounce that down there. We have the landing parts and all of that, which... Alright, so we now have built... Let's find the radial parachutes. A very quick monster of a ship. Very quickly made. What is this? Advanced grabbing unit. Interesting. In case you want to grab things. I think you can grab asteroids. In theory. I also kind of don't believe you can grab asteroids. Let's see. There we go. I believe that is a better one than that one. The Mark 16 XL versus the Mark 26. But I'm looking for the radial mount. drag parachutes. The R. Let's see. We have the R12-Rs listed here. And I'm not seeing the other model. We used to have a different model. Yeah, you have the R2-Rs and the R12-Rs, so those must be better. Crash tolerance is 120. This is this. No, I'm gonna stick with what I know. Put some parachutes there. Maybe have a chance that this thing does not just blow up in my face. Now, a giant airplane like this space plane feels like it definitely needs some wings on it. So I'm gonna put some wings on it. Let's get to the wing section. The Werner engine is a control thruster. Probably should put some of those on my ship too. Let's see. Wings. Where are the wings? Could have used something like this to make a rover. Put it in the service bay. Here's the wings right here. Alright. Let's see. Big 5 Delta wing. Maybe. Big 5 space plane wing. Maybe. Fat 45 airplane service. Let's see. Does that feel like a space plane to me? Maybe. Engine pre-cooler. Keeps it cooler, I suppose. Engine nacelle. Big 5 L5. Airstream protective shell. Interesting. Just a way of keeping the friction out. An advanced canard. An air brake. Interesting. Again, lots of these parts never got purchased by me. So the big 5 is about the best. So I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready. Let's see. Do we need anything else? We'll put 3 of these around this section. We will use the launch stability system to help us. And this is a very simple ship we've built. Not even multi-staged. Let's see, fuel cells, fuel cell arrays. Fuel. Is there anything more we want? No, I don't think so. I think we're ready to test all these new parts out. Let's just make sure we have our 4 guys ready to go, and then they will transfer themselves over down to the module that's in here, the modules that are in here, the mobile processing facility and the other module. Let's see. This will be interesting. An interesting place to go. So this will be the question is this thing going to automatically give me such power that I'm going to burn up in the atmosphere through friction or explode or just easily land on the moon? These are all questions I want to figure out. Let's start off with this. Deploy the scanner. See what that looks like. Perform an orbital survey. You must be in a stable orbit to do that. Whatever. Okay, well then retract the scanner. Let's crew report. We can do that. We can turn the lights on. Ooh, fancy. Crew report. A crew report from the launch pad will get us 0 science. I don't think we'll get any science from that at all in Sandbox mode, which kind of stinks. I wanted to be able to collect science so I knew how much science I could get for doing things. If it's not telling me that, if it's not going to show me that, it really makes playing in Sandbox mode something you need to do just on rare occasions to learn how to fly, but then you need to immediately go to science mode to learn how to collect science, because this isn't gonna, it doesn't seem like it's gonna teach you that. Let's turn on our fuel. We don't even need to click stage only, because we only have one stage worth mentioning. Full thruster with our stability assist system and our rocket controlled system both on. Let's see. Well, we're going up. Fuel is going down over here. But overall, we seem like we're going to be fine. It probably doesn't behoove us to be going at full thrust. Let's turn it down to the point where we just slowly are increasing our speed here. Right now we're burning straight up. We will set our target at the moon and get back into regular mode. If you don't know what all of these systems are and everything I'm doing, please go back and watch probably previous episodes. There is a lot to learn in Kerbal Space Kerbal Space Program. I keep confusing it with Kerbal Space Center, which is where we just left. We are now quickly in orbit, I suppose. What is our highest point? Our apoaxis. It is high enough now that we can start firing towards the eastern horizon to land in the moon's backyard. And by backyard I mean sphere of influence. Well, this is a little tight to control. We are flying towards the horizon, which makes our orbit more and more rounder. Unfortunately, we just ran out of fuel. So instead of being a flight that would have gotten us into an orbit, and then an orbit that we could have expanded to the moon, we are now at the situation where we're just gonna go up and then come back down. We are in space, so that gives us some things we can play with. Let's see if we deploy the drill. Does that hit our own ship? Nope, doesn't seem to have a problem there. Retract the drill. That's probably not too high. We can extend our solar panels. Let's see. So we can see that solar panel array. If we had another ship with fuel and engines, we could deploy it right now. It would be in a great position to fly to the moon. Unfortunately, we don't. All we have is this, and I would have needed to put like a docking port between this and this to even disconnect it. We can activate the scanner, which does something. We can observe the materials bay and get no science. We can log gravity data and get no science. And we can do several other things and still not get any science. Oh, this is pretty rotten. I wanted to know how much science we'd get. But this is a fair prediction of what the package would look like that we would want to do if we were in science mode. Just go ahead and close this back up and protect them. And if we leave this out, it will get destroyed. Might as well leave it out just for controls. It seems like the flaps and wings here worked fine. Let's see, perform an orbital survey. You must be in a stable polar orbit between that height. Ooh, that is pretty difficult, because we're on a equatorial orbit pretty much right now, and it is definitely not stable. Polar would require you to turn 90 degrees, hit the North Pole and the South Pole of the planet, thus polar. So we want to continue this flight as an experiment. We are going to use this game's revert function so we don't kill our crew here, who are having the times of their lives. Well, we want to learn from this how well this ship lands. Because it would be really cool in sandbox mode if I could get all the way to the moon and back on this ship. I kind of want to put wheels on it. I really kind of want to put wheels on it. It feels like that would be cooler by far. Let's see. Use our warp to get the speed down. Once we get down to 70,000 meters, it will, or thereabout, slow us down. Turn ourselves retrograde, which means point ourselves in the opposite direction we're going. That way we can burn up the engines and the backside of the ship. The part of the ship that is the least important. There goes the solar panels very early. We'll see if anything else burns up in re-entry like the drill. We're at 14,000. I'm gonna try and do around 7,000. Well, there's our parachute. We have one parachute. Is it going to be big enough to recover all of this giant spacecraft? We saw that part of the spacecraft there got broken off just in the friction. Maybe because of the scanner. I would suggest that people get in this module if they want to survive that plane. That is definitely probably not the way you would want this thing to go down. Hmm. It still is trying to figure out all the things that have been destroyed. There we go. So, we need to do some better assembly on this thing. Uh, I think by far. And that is what we will do next episode. This thing did take us more than one episode, and that is slightly surprising. I want to start with this as the base. That's every single science piece we could take. We probably need more fuel. We probably need to figure out a way to, uh, I don't know, what do we need? Interesting. I'll have to think about it. We'll think about it next episode. That's the end of this episode. As always, I ask that you like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All of that helps out as the game glitches a little bit. Visual glitch, not a big problem. If you want to support me, you can do that by clicking on my name, Rydo. On the right will be a blue button that says support this channel. If you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media site, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.